Twice each year, in Canada's frigid north, millions of caribou embark on an epic journey. The largest mass migration of any mammal walking the earth. On the California coastline, massive elephant seals meet to breed and battle after months at sea. Monarch butterflies flutter thousands of kilometers in a multi-generational marathon. These creatures survive incredible migrations, overcoming deadly obstacles, crossing oceans and continents to ensure the future of the species. Inside the different realms of the wild kingdom, members of a single species assemble in droves. One flock, herd, or troop reigns supreme. These are the world's great animal empires. Nunavik, the most northern reaches of the Canadian province of Quebec. This is the tundra, a wild, empty expanse of land. But it won't be empty for long. It's late August, a restless time here. This caribou is heading south. Sometimes called reindeer in other parts of the world, caribou got their name from a Mi'kmaq First Nations word meaning one who paws at the ground. They scrape the ground with their hooves to dig up lichens that comprise the bulk of the caribou's diet. He stands 1.5 meters tall at the shoulder, the third largest member of the deer family. He spent the past 5 months in the farthest northern reaches of his range. But as the days grow shorter, it's time to move on to sparse forests called taiga, 1,000 kilometers south, where he will spend the winter. And he's not alone. This is the Leaf River herd. It's an animal empire on the move. The largest caribou herd in North America, estimated at 330,000 animals. The herd marches in long strands, stretching for kilometers on wide expanses of open land, coming together at narrow passes and obstacles. And the Leaf River herd is only one of many. Millions of caribou migrating to cross the tundra each spring and autumn. The greatest land migration on Earth. Caribou are an important cultural and dietary keystone to the people of the North. One Inuit story says the first woman on Earth dug a hole in the ice to fish. From the hole, she pulled every animal in the world. The last to come was the caribou. She ordered the caribou to multiply. Soon, they covered the land, enough caribou to feed all of mankind. Unlike other deer, both male and female caribou can grow antlers. But only some does grow them, and they're proportionately small compared to most deer. The males are much larger for jousting with other bucks. Only the moose can boast a more impressive rack. 3 months ago in spring, the Leaf River herd moved north. The females led the migration, searching for the perfect place to have their babies far away from forest predators like wolves. Now, as winter closes in, food in the north is becoming scarce. They've got to move. They'll be bringing a new generation with them. There's not much time to grow up. At just 2 weeks old, these fawns must struggle through their first southern migration. With Junior in tow, the return will be far more dangerous and slow going. The tree line is hundreds of kilometers away. The survival of the empire depends on the female's ability to get their young back to the forest alive before winter. Each day presents mortal danger. Death could come in the form of a broken leg or a prowling bear. Or it could be something even bigger, like a river. On the coastline of Southern California, these rocky beaches are where a giant of the sea returns after a migration of its own. Elephant seals are named for the fleshy proboscis on the massive mature males. They're colossally large, with a big bull weighing up to 2,200 kilograms, about as much as an SUV. The females are much smaller than their mates, weighing up to 640 kilograms. That's still more than a dairy cow. Twice a year, northern elephant seals migrate out to sea, then return to the beaches where they were born. They travel further than any other seal, more than 3,000 kilometers. The reason for their long journey is food. Males and females have different dietary requirements, so they go to different places. The males stick closer to the coast and head north to feeding grounds off Washington State, British Columbia, and Alaska. They prefer to dine on small sharks and rays in shallower waters. The females go further into the open ocean. They've been spotted as far west as the Hawaiian Islands. They prefer to feast on open water species, especially squid. While at sea, the northern elephant seals forage for food almost constantly. They may not even stop for sleep. They spend most of their time underwater. Elephant seals dive deeper than any other species of seal and can hold their breath for up to an hour and a half at a time. But if there are to be baby elephant seals, male and female must meet somewhere. And this is the place. Point Piedra Blancas, near San Simeon, California. It's September. Elephant seals are beginning to congregate on beaches and rocky outcroppings like this, all along the coastline of California and Mexico. It's called the Fall Haulout. The seals arrive at different times, depending on their age and sex. Last year's pups, juveniles, and subadult seals are returning to the rookeries of their birth. These males are 5 years old, just hitting puberty. Their noses haven't grown to their full fleshy length yet. They won't grow to full size and maturity until they're 8 or 9 years old. The females reach sexual maturity earlier, at 3 or 4 years old. These younger elephant seals are here to rest and relax. While on land, they don't eat much. Learning to fast is part of growing up for an elephant seal. Adults don't eat at all during breeding season. But it's not all fun in the sun. The young males play fight, sparring practice for when they're older. When they grow up, these battles will determine who gets to breed. They rear back their heads and bellow through their undersized noses, and go chest to chest, sizing each other up. They bare their fearsome teeth. But it's all for show, mostly. The juveniles are still more bark than bite. But when the big bulls arrive in a few months, that's when the fighting will get serious. On the other side of the continent, millions of winged creatures are about to embark on another huge migration. It is one of the world's most spectacular mass movements, undertaken by one of its tiniest and most delicate creatures, the monarch butterfly. Instantly recognizable, a regal symbol of beauty and transformation. Its migration is an intergenerational odyssey. Each autumn, monarch butterflies migrate from their summer homes in southern Canada and the northern United States to spend winter in warmer climates. As summer comes in Nova Scotia's Annapolis Valley, on Canada's east coast, a female is looking for the right spot to settle down. She's looking for just the right plant, the milkweed. She's ready to lay her eggs, up to 1,000 of them. As a caterpillar, the monarch doesn't stray far from the plant where it was laid. The caterpillar is voracious, eating its own body weight in milkweed leaves every day. The milkweed gives the caterpillar a toxic taste that stays with it for life and keeps predators away. The caterpillar feasts for about 3 weeks, growing so fast it sheds its skin 4 times. Now, the caterpillar seeks out a horizontal branch to begin its final transformation. It spits out silk from its lower lip, creating a mat on the branch. Then, 2 of its back legs forge together, creating one appendage. Tiny hooks latch onto the silk mat like Velcro. Once its skin begins to peel, it's only a couple of minutes before it sheds its 5th and final layer of caterpillar skin. The pale shell is a hard exoskeleton called a chrysalis. The very cells comprising the caterpillar's body break down into a stewy goo and then reform. A week or so later, the transformation is complete, and the butterfly inside is ready to emerge. Free from its chrysalis, the butterfly hangs for hours until its wings fill with blood, dry, and stiffen. If this butterfly were born in summer, it would live 6 more weeks, during which time it would breed, lay its eggs, then die. But this is an autumn butterfly. So after all this, it still has a migration of thousands of kilometers ahead. In northern Quebec, the Leaf River caribou herd's migration meanders through the village of Kangasook. The herd's route changes every year, but the migration dates back millennia, before there were any towns here at all. It wasn't long ago that people here lived out on the land, following and hunting the herd. Towns were built in the mid-20th century, and the nomadic way of life came to an end for most. But the North is changing once again. Caribou herds are shrinking everywhere. The Leaf River herd is the largest left in North America. Even their numbers are down more than a third in recent years. The nearby George River herd used to number nearly 1 million. But in just 2 decades, the population collapsed by 98%. From 800,000 caribou to just 15,000 today. Nobody is sure why the herds are shrinking. The likely cause is a combination of commercial hunting, industrial development, disease, and deforestation. In response, the Inuit have suspended their hunt in the past few years. It's the first time anyone can remember that the Inuit haven't hunted the George River caribou. Caribou are uniquely specialized to survive here in the north. The short, hollow hairs of their outer coat provide insulation against the cold. Their entire body, even their muzzle, is fully furred. Their long legs and huge stride cover massive expanses of ground. Even as babies, caribou are born to run. At just 1 day old, a caribou fawn can outrun an Olympic sprinter. These fawns are just 2 weeks old and well into their first migration south. Mother and baby form a bond from birth and recognize each other by sight, sound, and smell. The fawns stay by their mother's side as much as possible through the journey. The route isn't easy. The ancient paths lead to a place where the open tundra tumbles down a massive rock face. the yawning valley of the Paine River divides the landscape. In open plains, the herd splits into smaller groups, sticking mostly with members of their own gender, in gatherings of a few dozen to a few hundred. But here, there's just one safe path from the highest elevation down to the riverbank. This is a bottleneck in the migration. One by one, the herd trickles down the hillside like a mountain stream. A river blocks their path. Rivers can be more dangerous than any predator. Hundreds of caribou die attempting these crossings every year. It will take 3 full days for the entire herd to cross this river. Instincts and their stomachs drive them on. It's December. The big bull elephant seals begin arriving on the beaches of California and Mexico. They've been at sea for at least 3 months, bulking up for mating season. It's a lot of work to haul their 2,300 kilogram bodies out of the surf. Blubber accounts for up to 50% of the male's body weight. It keeps them warm in the frigid ocean and fuels them during the hungry months on shore. All that fat was almost the species' undoing. When the California gold rush hit in 1849, there was a sudden spike in demand for industrial lubrication for mining machinery. Back then, that meant whale oil. But whale populations had already been decimated. Hunters turned their sights to the elephant seal and all but wiped out the species in just 15 years. In 1884, a tiny colony of seals was discovered off the coast of Mexico. It's believed all 100,000 northern elephant seals alive today can be traced to that one group. They come by their distinctive nose naturally. But their pink chest calluses, they earn those the hard way, through years of battling with other males. Bull elephant seals are fiercely territorial. This one is patrolling the water, snorting and blowing bubbles to warn off any other males that approach. Their noses also make great echo chambers, booming out signals to other seals. When mating season begins, they constantly harass any females on the beach until a pecking order is determined. The moment a juvenile male starts getting too friendly, a bigger bull comes in. And a fight breaks out. Another male comes up the middle to take his chance with a female. As though that's not enough, a fourth male decides to get involved. The female slips away into the sea as the males fight it out on the beach. It's rare, but these battles can be to the death. Only one male can conquer a beach or a section of beach and mate with a harem of females. Competition must be chased off or beaten into submission. There can only be one king of this empire, the dominant male of the harem on this beach. To the victor go the spoils. A single male can hold a harem of up to 50 females. It's evolution's way of ensuring that only the biggest, strongest males pass on their genes to the next generation. As August turns to September, the monarch butterfly from Nova Scotia begins its long trip south. At first, it is a solitary voyage. Individual butterflies gradually fluttering their ways southwest. But eventually, it joins 150 million others, the great-great-grandchildren of those that flew north the preceding spring. Remarkably, they make the incredible journey in a state something like hibernation in other animals. It's called diapause, a slowing down of the metabolism. It allows a single monarch to live long enough to make the entire trip south. The migration path follows a corridor determined by flowering nectar plants, air currents, and climatic conditions. Research suggests the butterflies use an internal compass to navigate, an operation involving both their eyes and antennae. Their eyes watch the sun's position in the sky, which changes throughout the day. Their antennae contain an internal biological clock to determine the time. The butterfly's tiny brains compare those two pieces of information to determine which direction is southwest. They can be blown off course easily, but gradually reorient themselves. Monarchs fly at speeds of 24 to 40 kilometers per hour. Overnighting together in clusters called roosts. Landforms like mountains and coastlines gradually funnel the scattered individual butterflies together as they get closer to their winter homes. The destination for some butterflies is California's coastline, Our butterfly from Nova Scotia will flutter further south to the Oyamel fir forests of Mexico. The arrival of the monarchs in Mexico's interior highlands coincides with an annual celebration, Dia de Muertos, the Day of the Dead. Traditional folklore says the monarchs represent the souls of the deceased, returning to the earth for the celebration. By December, monarchs cover the trees. It's not the riot of color you might expect, because only the monarch's dull outer wings are exposed. A monarch butterfly weighs less than a gram, but they are so crowded, tree branches can creak and break under the weight of tens of thousands of butterflies. The largest monarch overwintering sites are in Mexico and California, but smaller ones have been discovered in Arizona and Florida. Until 40 years ago, many of these places were a secret to everyone, except the butterflies. Now, a few of the biggest ones in Mexico are protected as World Heritage Sites. Nobody's quite sure how the butterflies chose these places, but it seems to be a combination of the right trees, climate, water supply, forest canopy, and isolation. The migratory butterflies live to be 6 months old, longer than any other generation of monarch. That's because they put off breeding, remaining in a state of perpetual adolescence. The butterflies cluster together to conserve heat. They stay in a state called quiescence, keeping still and conserving energy. Everything has to be just right for the monarchs to survive. If it's too cold, they will burn through their fat supplies and die. Unusually warm weather can stimulate them to breed and begin their northern migration too early, flying straight into the frosty northern winter. About half of all monarchs that arrive in the wintering grounds die before the return trip. Cold snaps and storms can kill millions more. In 2002, a snowstorm in Mexico killed 500 million monarchs, 3 times as many butterflies than the entire migration consists of today. Overall, the number of migrating monarchs is down by 75% in the last 25 years. But if everything goes just right, these monarchs will stay here until March and then begin their part of the journey home. Crossing rivers is a fact of life and death for the caribou herds of northern Quebec. Their winter home in the forest lays hundreds of kilometers past the opposite shore. The adaptations that enable caribou to survive the frozen northern winter also help them in the water. Adult caribou are strong swimmers. Their broad hooves and powerful legs help them paddle through the water. Short, hollow bristles of their outer fur keep them warm and increase their buoyancy. The arteries and veins in a caribou's legs are intertwined, so hot blood leaving the heart warms the cold blood traveling toward it. Their stout bodies and short ears minimize their surface area and exposure to the cold. Still, strong currents can sweep even an adult bull off course. And caribou of all ages must make the swim. At only 2 weeks old, this year's fawns haven't had much practice swimming. If they get separated from their mothers, no other female will adopt them. Sticking together is a matter of survival. A fawn separated from its mother calls out to her. Mother turns back for her baby. She positions herself downstream to keep the current from taking her fawn again. They've made it across. There will be more rivers and other dangers to come. Once they clamber onto shore, they take a moment to rest and feed for the journey ahead. Still hundreds of kilometers to go. The caribou's future is uncertain, both for this year's fawns and the entire Leaf River herd. Their forest destination will offer food and shelter for the coming winter. But there will be prowling predators too, like bears and wolves. At just 2 weeks old, this fawn is still only halfway through his first rite of passage. He could live another 15 years, making 30 more migrations. The trip seems to be getting longer every year. Over the past few decades, the Leaf River herd's spring calving grounds have gradually shifted 300 kilometers to the north. Researchers believe we may be in the twilight of this great migration. They fear the Leaf River herd will be extinct in just 65 years. For now, even after clearing the river, the herd still has a long way to go. The tree line is still hundreds of kilometers away. It's late December on the bluffs and beaches of California. The male elephant seals have been battling on shore for 2 weeks, and now all the female northern elephant seals have arrived. The females bicker and bellow at one another as they jostle for space on the beach, but don't fight like the males do. Females are pregnant when they arrive and give birth shortly after. They lose 30% of their body weight during their time on shore, burning massive amounts of calories nursing and protecting their pups. Newborns weigh about 35 kilograms. The pups don't have any blubber, so their black coat helps them soak up heat from the sun to stay warm. life on the bluffs is dangerous for the babies. They're not alone. Coyotes prowl, looking to pick off weak or unattended pups. Even the adult seals present a significant danger. As males battle for control of the beach, a pup that can't get out of the way fast enough can be crushed. Elephant seal mothers are fiercely protective of their newborns. A young male who comes too close gets a stern warning. She's not as big as the male, but she will fight him if she has to. The male won't take the hint. Junior can't swim yet, so he can't flee. He's trapped between the huge, blubbery bodies. The harem's dominant male comes to the rescue. He sends the upstart male packing and drifts off back to sleep. All elephant seals cover themselves with sand while on shore. It's likely an effort to keep cool in the hot sun. They don't have any blubber in their armpits, so raising one fin like this is another way of cooling off. They scratch constantly. It probably just feels good, but in a few months, it will help with the annual molt in which the elephant seal sheds huge swaths of skin. After giving birth, there's just a short window of time for the mothers to recover before mating season begins. She nurses for just 28 days, then immediately goes into heat, signaling males of all ages to try to mate with her. The dominant male, having fought off the competition, begins the courtship by placing a flipper across her back. He uses his massive body to hold her in place. Through a process called delayed implantation, the pregnancy doesn't take hold for a few months. So birth coincides with a haul out next winter. Not long after mating, the mothers will leave the beach to begin their long migration into the open Pacific in February and March. The pups are left behind for another 6 weeks or so. They've got to fend for themselves and survive off the fat they've built up until they learn to swim and hunt on their own. The males leave soon after the females, heading for the coastal waters off Washington State, British Columbia, and Alaska. They'll all be back again, first for the spring molt, then again in the autumn to begin the cycle once again. By February, the days have grown longer in the butterfly forests of Mexico and California. The changing light draws the monarch out of its hibernation-like state of diapause. It's time for the butterfly to begin its migration north. The butterflies vibrate their wings to bring their bodies up to temperature before beginning flight. They have a long way to go. The journey is up to 4,000 kilometers. But unlike the trip south, the northbound journey won't be completed by any one butterfly, but rather will be an intergenerational relay. The butterfly that came all the way from Nova Scotia will die soon, but first she will lay her eggs on milkweed plants along the way. Then her children will continue the voyage. It takes 4 months and at least 3 generations to make the whole trip north. Today, fewer butterflies make the migration than in decades past. In northern regions, suburban development and herbicide used to destroy milkweed habitats where monarchs begin their lives. In Mexico, many forests are threatened by logging. In California, government and private efforts are underway to protect 450 overwintering sites identified in the state over the past 30 years. Butterfly lovers hope to preserve this flying animal empire for generations to come. By land, by air, and by sea, these creatures embark on life-threatening odysseys to feed, breed, and escape the changing seasons. The world these animals move through is changing all around them. Some of these remarkable migrations are on the verge of disappearing. For now, they persevere, following paths established in a time before human memory. The world's great moving animal empires.